Joining me now is the Wednesday night international panel. Former Labor member for Melbourne Ports in the Australian Parliament, Michael Danby, and Sky News contributor Kosha Gada. And Michael, Kosha, great to have you both with us tonight. A big show of support for Ukraine was announced by the Australian government today, sending 70 Australian troops to the UK to begin training Ukrainian soldiers. I mean, Michael, we know those fighting in Ukraine are mostly reservists, a civilian army who might have plenty of heart but not necessarily the skills. So it's important for us, isn't this, to commit resources to training people in Ukraine?
It's good that a lot of Australians train people over in the British military training schools anyhow. The Ukrainians are pretty hardened. They've had a whole year of mobilised people who fought at the front every year since 2014. But I'd rather send them 100 more Bushmasters as well, because if the Germans give them the Leopards and they break through the Melitopol-Zaporizhia front and re-seize the land to the south that they're planning to, they'll need the Bushmasters to carry their infantry behind them, because the Bushmasters have got this famous V that the soldiers at Pukka told me prevented IEDs in Afghanistan killing them. So they prevent the deaths of a lot of Ukrainian troops.
Yeah, the Ukrainians certainly like our Bushmasters, so that's good. We've put the plug out there.
Sure,
see if Richard Miles is listening. Now, a 20-year-old, she's now 20, Swedish climate crusader, the Swedish school dropout, Greta Thunberg. Well, she has been detained overnight by German police. I think she's out now protesting the invasion, an expansion rather, of a coal mine. I mean, Kosha, I guess you have to give it to her. A domestic coal protest in Germany has now made international headlines. But, you know, as we know, her crusade is costing Europeans a fortune when they pay their energy bills, and we're paying extra here as well.
Indeed. She and her handlers, Gary, are definitely very wise at publicity and stagecraft. As you say, there's no denying that. Yep. So she's Greta's going to Greta. And she did that. But look, I think, you know, the macro thing that she's always been the face of trying to conserve the environment is a laudable goal. But true demand for renewables just is not where activists like her or agenda-driven leaders want it to be. That's just the reality at this point in time, based on where the technology sits. And most people, you know, are trying to get on with their lives. They know that. They sort of laugh at her and move on until the prices soar to the level that they are soaring right now, as you rightly mentioned, in continental Europe and as well as here and elsewhere. And when that happens, the rubber hits the road, and I think you're just going to see a lot of angst and maybe more ridicule of these types of stunts, as well as counter-protests on the other side, because things are getting pretty dicey, I think, for the average citizen right now in Germany.
Of course, she must have walked there from Sweden to Germany, I guess. She would have gone the long way. Because that's just what she does.
Gary, don't bring details. That's terrible.
I'm the details guy, Michael, remember.